Raise your hand. You all have that hero. Every single one of you have a big hero inside of you, because I've seen it. I've seen it from almost every single one. And that's what we're talking about today, that each and every one of us have something so incredibly deep inside of us that we can draw upon when stuff, big or little, happen in our life. And that's the hero in us. Today, we're talking about cultivating resilience. Sing anyway. Sing anyway. Some days there won't be a song in your heart. Some days you just don't feel it. Sing anyway. I love that, because I'm reminded today, especially because it's Father's Day, and I'm reminded that many of us have these heartfelt, warm memories. I do of my dad. I've got a lot of good memories of my dad. But I realized that for a lot of other people, that their dads weren't word cleavers. Remember word cleaver? Big Beaver's dad, right? I tried to think of Donna Reed's dad, who, you know, and he wasn't in there too much, I don't think, if you guys watch Donna Reed. But you always know the moms, but you don't really see the dads too much. But I remember Ward Cleaver, we talked to Beaver, you know, and Wally, right? Was it Wally after school, you know, and they would sit down, and, you know, I wish that my life was like that too, you know, this perfect life. It wasn't. But I know that, especially in here, I know there's people that had a hard time finding the Ward Cleaver kind of dad. They had some hard experiences with their father, and they had to dig deep to find the hero that was within them, especially when you're little kids. It's not easy. So there's been people that have been held back with their father. And I know you, and I know your pain, and I know your struggle, and I know the steps that you took to change your life. And you guys that I'm talking about are the most resilient people that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm honored to be able to know you. You are the models of resilience for me. And you know who you are. You know, there's a saying that Kelly Clarkson sings, right? And she says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know the song I'm talking about? If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. But I'm not so sure that's true, because the truth is that sometimes we don't get strong by the stuff we go through. We turn into angry people, and it doesn't make us stronger. The truth is that we have to choose to be stronger, to decide when stuff happens to us, when these devastations of life, or even sometimes the little things, to move forward in a healthy way, than to let it rob us of who we really are. You know, we choose who we are. We choose to find the hero within us, and resilience. I'm reading a book, and it's called Resilience, the Hard-Won Wisdom for Better Living. And this is from Eric Greitens, and he's a Navy SEAL who wrote this book to his friend. He's a comrade that had PTSD, was suffering from alcoholism, was falling apart, and he wrote to Greg, the guy who wrote this book, and he said, "Help, I'm dying here, help." So Greg wrote letters to him every week, and this book is about the letters that he wrote about resistance, and they're really good. And I want to read what he says first. Why do we need resilience? Here's what he says. Dear Walker, Walker's the guy that wrote it, but he says, resilience is the key to a well-lived life. If you want to be happy, you need resilience. If you want to be successful, you need resilience. You need resilience because you can't have happiness, success, or anything else without worth having, without needing hardship along the way. To master a skill, to build an enterprise, to pursue anything worthy, simply to have a good life requires that we confront pain, hardship, and fear. What is the difference between those who are defeated by hardship and those who are sharpened by it? Between those who are broken by pain and those who are made wiser because of it? To move through pain to wisdom, through fear to courage, through suffering to strength, requires resiliency. And so that's what this book is about. That's what I kind of want to talk about today, is that this idea that we do have it inside of us, but it has to be cultivated. The physics definition of resilience is something like we bounce back. that, what it says is we're led to believe that for humans, that it's about bouncing back after stress or returning to the person that we were before. And the truth is that life's reality says we can't bounce back. We can't ever be the person that we were before once we've gone through some really different, devastating things in our life. If we've lost the people that we love in our life, we will never be the same again. If a kid goes into battle, and they even if they return, right, they aren't who they used to be. They're a different person. When you've gone through so much pain, there's no bouncing back. There's no bouncing back. But here's the deal. There is moving through it and becoming more because of it. See, you go through the process. This is a transmuting, a transforming process of becoming more than you ever thought that you could become. It's a process of becoming more, not less. See, sometimes we think we go through these things in our life that we're losing, that we've lost things. But the truth is, what you've lost, you've gained in different ways. You've become more. Resilient people don't just bounce back, they become more than they were. They find themselves integrating what happened to them in healthy ways. How you become a part, you get to choose. Do you become better because of it or bitter because of what you've been through? All of us. There isn't anybody here that doesn't want to be more resilient, and we need to be. We want to handle life pain, and we want to handle the struggle that happens in life, but the truth is that we got to go through it. We got to go through it. We can't just go across it, right? You can't go across something, jump across. You got to go through it and feel the pain. We've talked about that before, is when we have stuff that we have to, move through. We got to feel it first. And it takes a while to do that. We can't just read about it in books or listen to a talk to get this courage. It's not bottled. Resilience isn't bottled. You can't take a resilient pill. The struggle itself is how we build our resilience. It's the heartbreaking and the painful experiences that are the biggest part of how that we build our resilience. Einstein even wrote that true human greatness comes through our suffering, overcoming the suffering and finding the gifts in it. When I know it's not only the big things in life, we've all had the big and the small, but it's a little everyday things in life that we go through that help us to build resilience. It's the challenges. It's the dealing with challenging people. It's the scary diagnosis. It's the finances. It's aging in itself. Aging in itself is a difficult thing that builds resilience. Life is difficult, and we have to take responsibility. We can't help what happens to us. Well, we know that. Life just happens without our permission, as Judy says. But we can deal with how we deal with what happens. We can build it, our practice, and build our resilience. Plants that are in a hothouse, they release them out in the elements. Before they release them out into the elements, they expose them to all different kinds of temperatures. They shoot them with cold and with hot, and they get them all ready to go out into the elements until they grow resilient enough. And then they can thrive in a natural climate. And that's kind of like us. We have the ability to build our resilience over the course of our lives. New research into resilience has shown that our brain, we've talked about this a lot, has a neuroplasticity. And the more that we use that brain and we meet these challenges, then we build this like psychological Teflon. We become stronger every time that we go through a hurdle. We become better and better and better if we use the seeds of resilience and we turn it in and integrate it into our life. And what I know is you're never too old, never too weak, never too wimpy to strengthen your ability to handle the problems and the challenges that are coming your way or have come your way. We just have to do it. We have to make the choice. We're going to get through this and not let it overtake us. We have to become bigger than our problem. We become what we do, is what Eric Graydon says in the book, that when you act with courage, even if you don't feel like it, you sing anyway, that you become courageous. When we act with compassion, we become compassionate. When we act with resilience, we become resilient people. So we practice so we can live a full and a deep life. We need resilience, not just to survive our lives, but to thrive our lives, to live a deep and a full life. I love, there's a word, and I looked it up, because in the book he was talking about it, and it's a Greek word that they used to use, and what I loved about the Greeks, and about it was Aristotle, that coined the word, I think, and it's called eudaimonia. Anybody know that word, eudaimonia? I love the words. And what I love about them is that what doesn't mean just one thing, like happiness or joy. It's like a paragraph, because in those words, they had so much depth to them. And here's what that word means, and it kind of goes along with it because it is about resilience. But it means like the highest human good. It's about you building this resilience and this strength and this deep felt energy so that you can have the deepest possible life that you can have. And the basis of it, this deepest human, it's called the highest human good, is this eudaimonia. And I think of each one of us and how you've built this and what you've been through to develop these incredible lives that you have, that you can bounce back and you can laugh and you can go through things that are deeply painful and still be this incredible person. That's what eudaimonia is. And the Greeks used to talk about, how do you do that? How do you become, this person that can deal with just this life? It's pretty hard to deal with life in itself. And what it is it's that you get this larger perspective of life. You get this perspective of knowing that you are more than just this human that's kind of dealing with these pains of life. And that's what resilient people do. They realize that they are bigger than the stuff you're going through, that this energy inside of them leads them. Call it God, call it the divine, call it anything you want to, but it's the energy of love that moves you through your life no matter what you're going through. And then it helps you see things in a floodlight view, in a big view, instead of a little small view of your own problems. So how we see things make all the difference in our resilience. And to see things differently, we move through our body, we meditate. We do the things that hit that hero inside of us, that touch that love inside of us. We don't let the situation define us. What are you going through? You don't let it define who you are. You're not a victim. Our hardships, our hurdles, they shape us. They shape who we are, boy. That's when I look at you, I see you've been shaped by your life. But it's not who you are. They don't define you. You've been dealt some tough blows, but we don't have a victim mentality that render us powerless. We extract wisdom from the stuff that we go through. We grow in confidence. That's what we're talking about today, is in resilience. We focus on what's in our control. What can you control in your life? Not a heck of a lot, right? Not a heck of a lot, but you can't control what happens after it happens, right? How you are after it happens. We make the best out of the resources that we have. And the best resource we have is your intelligence and the God inside of you. And once we touch that, that's what moves us through. Truth is, when you're going through stuff in your life and big things in your life, it's the people in your life. And so building a network of friends, of family, of people you care about, boy, that's what gets you through, isn't that true to you? I know you know that. And every one of us need other people. We don't isolate. We need other people. Research has shown that people who have a stronger support network cope better in difficult times, and they recover faster than those who don't. They build that oxytocin in the brain. Yeah, and it changes your brain, right? It changes your brain. And they find purpose in life. They find new purpose in their life when things have shifted. They do things to get out of their head and drop to their heart so they can find something to move forward with. I'm going to close and tell you about, on Tuesday, I met with Bob Gover. And he had his 94th birthday on Tuesday. And so, I can't believe it. And talk about resilience. Oh my gosh, the man is amazing, right? We talked about, I read his chapter, he's writing a book, and I read his chapter on Vietnam. And I had to get his book back to him, and so I was talking to him about it and asking him about his life a little bit. And 26 years in the military, and we were just talking about this word eudaimonia. That's exactly what he lives, his highest human good. He's resilient, and he has made choices to flourish his life. And you know, it's amazing. He's been through so much. If you read some of the things in the war that he went through, it's you know, very difficult. But he is so curious and open to learning and becoming a better human than he ever thought he could be. He was so curious for many years that he sat in the Tolay class for, geez, how many years? That's like, yeah, 10 years or something. He sat there and he took notes and he learned and he asked questions and he would bring his little memory quotes and stuff and he would try to learn from that. And, you know, that's what I'm talking about. He was, you know, getting older and stuff, and he didn't lay down and just say, okay, you know what, I've lived my life. Boy, he's going. He walks out, you know, he actually goes to the store and back every day, he cooks, you know. But I remember him saying, how do I get through this? You know, there's a lot that he went through. And we were talking about that, Dr. Lane talks about breathing. And he breathed. He learned how to breathe. You know, how important is that? He learned that he wasn't a victim to everything that he'd been through. His choices and his decisions created the resilience in him that I'm talking about. You know, he practices. He chose to have another purpose. You know, he has purposes all throughout his life. He writes. You know, he has all these different causes that he donates to and he cares about. I always give him pictures of animals when I go to his house because he collects because he makes donations to the, you know, Humane Society and stuff. They send him all these calendars and I see these. See, he is who I'm talking about, and all of you too, but I'm kind of singling him out because I just saw him. But he's still singing even when he doesn't feel the song in his heart every day. Right? Every day. He doesn't get up every day and spring out of bed, believe me. He has to work on it. And that's kind of what I mean. He keeps going even when the song isn't felt in his heart. He sings anyway. And that's my prayer for each and every one of us, is that we go deep. We find our hero. And even when we can't find the song, we sing anyway. Thank you.